All right, so this video is all about condos. We're going to talk about condos here in the city of Temecula. Are they a good idea? Should you buy a condo, or is it a waste of your money? Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula. And this video is about the city of Temecula and all about condos. So we're going to talk all about them. Are they popular here? Should you buy one? What is a condo? There are some different definitions, and it's kind of a vague term, at least in this area. So hopefully it'll be good information for you guys. But before I get to all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Obviously it helps me and it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And then we have new videos that we put out each and every week, and it's all local based real estate content like this. So just local about the Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee area. We have market update videos, best neighborhood videos, worst neighborhood, different recommendations in school districts, all different types of stuff. So if you want local based real estate content, I think this is a great way to stay on top of it. So please hit like, please hit subscribe. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you can see my information either down below the video or at the end. So you can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email. It's my personal cell phone number. So happy to answer any questions you may have, help point you in the right direction. Or of course, if myself and my team can help you out with your real estate search, I would love to be a resource for you. Obviously, that is how we earn a living and how I earn a living. So I'd love to have the opportunity to help you and your family, or at least happy to point you in the right direction and point you in the right direction. So. All right, so let's go ahead and get into all the info here. So again, we're going to talk about condos here in Temecula, and really just going to talk about are they a good idea. So we do have a good amount of condos here in the city of Temecula, and I would say they are relatively popular. We do not really have townhomes. So condos we have a good amount of, really no townhomes. But because of that, it's the term condo is kind of vague. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But condos can mean a few different types of things. So it's not like all condos are not created equal, at least here in Temecula. So I know not all cities and areas are like that, but that is kind of unique here. But townhomes, I don't really know of any like real deeded townhomes in the city. I guess maybe there's one community, but they're super rare. What makes condos popular is it's the price point, right? So they are less expensive than your traditional single family home. The downside to them is you are typically going to have a much bigger HOA, so that's something you're going to have to prepare and think about. And also because of kind of where we're at, this is the suburbs, right? People that live here in Temecula and Murrieta, most people, they move up from San Diego, move out from Orange County or LA, and they come out here to have something that's more affordable, right? Which the city is. But when they come out this way, they really prefer to have a little bit more space, right? A lot of people have lived in the big cities and they've been in more, condos and townhomes and real tight quarter living areas. And so one of the benefits to coming out here to the suburbs is to get some space, right? So there is not as huge of a market for condos here as there is in some of those bigger cities. So single family homes are definitely much more popular. And because of that, single family homes will definitely appreciate a lot more than a condo will. So let's say if you buy a condo for $500,000 and a single family home, like a small one, for $650,000, that single family home is definitely going to gain more equity over time than that condo will. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's kind of something I always caution people on, is that just condos are not going to appreciate as much as the single family homes because they are not as desirable, at least in this area. All right, and then to circle back to what I was talking about earlier, so the term condo here in Temecula is kind of a vague term. We really see condos in three different fashions, and I think this is kind of unique to this area. At least, it's at least unique over the last 10, 15 years. And I think a lot of cities don't necessarily have this, but we see two forms of attached condos, and then we also see a form of a detached condo as well. So kind of and as we kind of go down these three rungs, each level gets more and more expensive, right? So the first level that we'll talk about is your traditional attached condo, which I would say most people kind of equate to like an apartment style living. And actually there's a few buildings in the city that were like converted apartments. One of them, there's like a mirror image of the community right across the street. Those are apartments, and these ones are condos. So it really does feel like an apartment, but basically, you know, they're attached units. So you have a big building. You have a condo building with several units in it. There might be, you know, 15 units in the building, and it's multi-level. So this, like, I'm thinking of one right now that's has 3 levels in it, or I guess we'll say 2 levels in it. So there's a downstairs and an upstairs. You have units downstairs and you have separate units upstairs. And also you have units that share walls. So it might be 4 units downstairs. Let's call it 6 units downstairs and 6 units upstairs. So each unit's gonna have its own little balcony space. You kind of, you know, it might be a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, or a 3-bedroom, but you're going to have shared walls on the sides of your unit and also above you. So you're going to have a unit up top or a unit below. So this, like I mentioned, this is kind of most similar to apartment style living. Of course, what is different is you purchase it. You're going to purchase a condo, and it is the least expensive way to buy a living space here in the city of Temecula. So, for example, there's a condo community that I'm actually selling a unit in right now. We see 1-bedrooms that are selling anywhere somewhere in the mid 300,000, so 330 to 370,000, right around that range. And then you have 2 and 3 bedrooms that are going up to like the mid 400,000 range. And that's a huge savings compared to like your standard single family home that's probably going to start like in the mid 600s. So I would definitely say it's a good value, but probably not like the living situation that most people would prefer. But it's a way to get into ownership, condo and home ownership. So it could be a good option. So option number 2 would be more of a traditional attached condo which typically is going to have a yard space. So this is usually where you're going to have like a condo building that will have several units. It might have 2, 3, 4 units that are all part of this this one singular building. You will have shared walls. So typically your unit will share 1 or 2 walls with neighboring units. But you also typically have your own attached garage as well, which the other ones won't have. And then you typically will not have anyone that lives on top of you. So you will have 1 or 2 shared walls, but you don't have to worry about people stomping around on top of you or you bothering somebody else by stomping around. So the quality of life is usually quite a bit better in these. Also, a lot of these different communities will have a little bit of a yard space. So it's not going to be huge, but you might go out, you might have a little backyard as opposed to the other ones, really just like a patio. So a backyard might be 15 feet long by 10 feet deep, that type of thing. Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. They're all just a little bit different. But again, I think quality of life on these types of attached condos with a little yard space is quite a bit better than your kind of that first option we talked about, which more of that kind of apartment style. Price point's going to be a little bit more expensive. So in Temecula, we see these selling anywhere from, each community is going to be a little bit different, but probably 500,000 to 600, 650,000. So somewhere in that range. Okay. And then your third option, which is also the most expensive, is a detached condo. And a lot of people get confused about this one because it's not like it's not a very common term throughout the nation, but we do see it a lot here. Typically, if you drive by a community like this, you would not think that it's a condo. Most people think they would consider them to be townhomes or small single family homes, but they are actually deeded, a lot of them, all are actually deeded as detached condos. So what this means, usually they're smaller homes that are a little bit close together. A lot of times they'll have some type of like a shared driveway, so like a community driveway, and then off that shared driveway you might have 4 or 6 units that each access their own individual garages from that shared driveway. But your home and your garage are not attached to anybody else's. So you have your own little, it looks like a small little house. They could be anywhere from like 1,200 square feet to 1,800 square feet. So not really super small, but you know, they're not massive by any means, but you have your own space. You will typically also have your own backyard area. Again, kind of similar to what we talked about, maybe, you know, 10 feet deep, 15 to 20 feet wide, that type of thing. And really, it doesn't really feel like condo living at all, other than you're kind of close to your neighbor, you know. The shared driveway, I think most people don't really complain about too much, you know, depending on your car situation, etc. But they're just kind of closer together houses is really how it feels. But because it is a condo, the condo association actually will take care of the maintenance on the exterior of the building. And usually there's some like shared like common grounds, like, you know, little tot lots, or, you know, grassy areas that they're watering, etc. But that is actually the benefit of a detached condo, is the HOA is going to take care of the maintenance on the exterior of the building. So those are good things to know. So you kind of see those three different options, and then the price point for those detached condos, again, they are the most expensive, but you might see them anywhere from, like, I would say $550 to $650,000, maybe slightly more, maybe closer to $700,000. So kind of somewhere in that range. So definitely a little bit more expensive, but still less expensive than a single family home. And there's some benefits. You know, take care of, you know, some of that maintenance and things like that. So hopefully that's good information for you guys. I guess in summary, I do think condos can be a good option. They are a less expensive way to get into ownership of a property here in Temecula, but they will just not appreciate as much as what a single family home will. So as long as that's something you're aware of and you're okay with that, I think condos can be a really good option for you. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email me, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.